All right, and we are back here on the GSMC football podcast. And for the second part of the show, we are going to break down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers schedule, and I will give you my thoughts on it. So the Bucs, they finished 9-8 last season, and at one point it didn't look like that they were going to make the playoffs because I think they were 4-7 at one point, but they righted the ship, and Baker Mayfield started playing really well. And, again, nobody really ran away with the division. And they ended up finishing at 9-8 and making the playoffs, winning a playoff game against the Eagles. And, it was a competitive game against the Lions, but, lost a tough game there. And, yeah, they're looking to repeat as champions. They brought back most of their free agents. They re-signed Baker. They re-signed Mike Evans. They re-signed Antoine Winfield Jr. I know their left tackle, Tristan Wirfs, is looking for a new deal. And I know I've been seeing some headlines regarding a new deal with Chris Godwin, their other receiver. So we'll see what happens there. But for the moment, they got all their guys back, and they're going to run it back. So this is their schedule. And they start off the year at home against the Commanders. And I did give the Commanders the loss here when I was doing their schedule, but I could definitely see the Bucs dropping this game. And you're probably thinking, well, you barely had the Commanders winning any games, but I don't know. I just feel like this game I could see the Bucs losing. I'm still going to give them the win, but I do think that it's going to be a competitive game because the Buccaneers are not a team. They don't blow out teams. I know there were some games that they did. But I don't have I think a lot of their games are going to be close. But I'm going to say that they win this game here. So the Bucs will start 1-0. Then they take on the Lions on Sunday Night Football. Oh, wait, actually, no. I don't think this is a Sunday night game. But, the Lions play. I know the Lions play on Sunday night the week before. But I think the reason why I said that was because they were playing on NBC during the playoffs, even though that wasn't even a Sunday night game, but still. It's not a Sunday night game, but it's in Detroit. It's a rematch of the divisional round from last year. I still am going to take the Lions to win this game. It's going to be tough. Can the Buccaneers win this game? Sure. But I still think the Lions are the better team here, and I think they'll win. So that's going to be 1-1 for the Bucs. Then they take on the Broncos at home. Again, I don't think the Broncos are going to be very good this year. I am going to say that the Buccaneers win this one. And we'll see who's starting at quarterback, whether it's Stidham or Bo Nix. I think, Zach Wilson he's least likely to win the starting job. It's either going to be Bo Nix or Jared Stidham starting. So, but either way, whoever it is, I think the Buccaneers are going to win. So I'm going to take them. And they will improve to 2-1. Then they take on the Eagles. Now, I know I said, again, the Buccaneers don't really blow teams out, but they did blow them out in the playoffs, the Eagles. And the Eagles blew them out in the regular season. The Eagles are going to be better this year. And, as much as I would like to see the Buccaneers win because, it's good for my team, I think the Eagles will win this game. And this is just, early win-loss predictions. These games are, far away. But I just think the Eagles are going to be the better team this year, and I think they're going to get the win. So I'm going to give the Buccaneers a loss here. So right now they're 2-2. They take on the Falcons now in Atlanta against Kirk Cousins this time around. And if you remember, these two teams did split last year, which I think will happen again. I think the Bucs will at least get one and the Falcons will get one. Now, the away teams won both games. And I think that game, the second game again between the Bucs and the Falcons, I think that kind of changed the momentum of the Bucs season, and that's kind of when they started to get on a roll. But I don't know. I feel like here, the Falcons being at home, I think they'll win this game. So I'm going to take the Falcons to win. Then they take on the Saints on the road. And that was a game early on that impressed me that the Bucs won, because I didn't expect them to walk into New Orleans and win, but they did. And I feel like the same thing's going to happen here. These teams are going to split. So I actually will give the Bucs the win here. Say they went on the road and beat the Saints. So right now they're 3-3. Then next they take on the Ravens. It's a tough game. You know, you got the reigning MVP coming in, Derrick Henry, that defense. Again, the Ravens are the better team. So I'm going to give the Ravens the win here. And then, like I said these two teams were going to split. So I'll say the Falcons are going to win. So now they're 3-5. And it doesn't get any easier because now they take on the Chiefs and then the Niners. And at Arrowhead, not an easy place to play at. I'm gonna have to take the Chiefs, and then the 49ers come to town in Tampa. Yeah, that's gonna be another loss. But now they take on the Giants, and I think I gave the Giants a win here. But this game the Buccaneers can win. But I feel like they'd have to get back on track because, you know, now you've lost 3 in a row. So, you know, they could win that. Then they play the Panthers. They could win that. Home against the Raiders. I think they can win that as well. At the Chargers, I mean, we'll see. I know now with Harbaugh being there, it's going to be tough. And, of course, you got Justin Herbert as well. I mean, we'll see how the Chargers are at this point during the year. But, yeah, that could be a dicey game. And then you got the Cowboys in Dallas, which, you know, I mean, the Cowboys really didn't do anything this offseason other than the draft. But I still think the Cowboys are better than the Bucs. So I might give the Bucs a loss there as well. And I mean, I see them sweeping the Panthers until proven otherwise. So, and then like I said, I have them splitting with the Saints. So how many wins did I give them? So right now, I gave them a win against the Commanders. I gave them a win against the Broncos, against the Saints and the Falcons. That's 4. Against the Panthers twice. The Raiders, that's 7. I mean, like I said, the Giants, I think I said the Giants would beat them, but that could be a win there. So, around 8 wins, I think, for the Bucs. Schedule's tough at certain points. Yeah, because that stretch from week 4 to week 10, that's really going to determine what kind of season the Bucs are going to have. So, they're going to have to, win some tough games, if they're going to want to make it back to the playoffs again. But like I said, that this stretch right here, like I said, from week 4 to week 10, that's really going to determine what kind of season that they will have. And maybe they win the game that they're not supposed to. Maybe they beat the 49ers at home. Maybe they beat the Ravens at home. They beat the Cowboys on the road. We'll see. Or maybe the Eagles still aren't as good as we thought they were, or thought they could be, and the Bucs can win at home, or they beat the Lions. I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough schedule in the middle part of the season. So we'll see though. Maybe they prove me wrong. They sweep one of the teams in there. Well, I said they'd sweep the Panthers, but maybe they sweep the Saints or the Falcons. The division is going to be tougher this year. Because I know the Panthers probably still aren't going to be good, but they're going to be better. And they should have beaten the Bucs, at least the second time, because they had 2 touchdowns and they both got called back. And even the first game, the Bucs only won by 3 points. So we'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, like I said, I think I have them at around 8 wins. But, hey, that could be enough to win the division. They could make it in 8 and 9. So... But we'll see. I mean, I'm hoping that that's not the case because, I'm a Baker Mayfield fan, so I do want to see the Bucs run it back again. But, with Kirk Cousins now in the fold and, the Saints with Derek Carr, they finished the season strong last year. Yeah, it's going to be tougher. So, but they can't afford to start off the year 4-7. because I don't think they'd be able to come back and win the division again because the division's better. But the way I had them going, yeah, it's going to start out that way. But we shall see. We shall see. So before I go to break again, just want to remind you guys. But let me know what you guys think. How many games do you think the Bucs will win in 2024? So before we go into our next break, again, want to remind you guys to tip or donate and get your comments recognized. Make sure to go to the following link, that is GSMCPodcast.net. Again, that really helps the show, makes the show more interactive between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. Again, that is GSMCPodcast.net. And as always, it is displayed on the ticker at the bottom of the show segment down below. So when we come back from our second break of the show, we will talk about what teams that missed the playoffs in 2023 have the best chance to make the playoffs in 2024. So with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.